towards helping support particular doctrines for Christianity and particular texts that support it. So the Romans' reaction to Christianity is actually helping to shape it.
Christian numbers are growing, and Christian identity is consolidating through various forms, including early core texts. At the same time, there is a serious schism between Romans and Christians going on, which of course can only get worse as Christian numbers grow. But still, we don't see widespread Roman persecution specifically and exclusively for being Christian. But it is at this time that we get a remarkable, personal, and in-depth account written by a martyr.
Just over 1800 years ago, 5 young Christians are brought into an arena much like this one. The circumstances surrounding the events are recorded in a diary written by a young woman who will become one of the most important saints in Christianity. Her name is Perpetua.
She is one of the most venerated martyrs in all Christian litany. This is her story. The wider Roman world at the time of Perpetua's death is in flux.
The practice of not hunting down Christians that dates back over 100 years to before the time of Trajan and Pliny has not been overturned. But a new emperor, Septimius Severus, is keen to prosecute the letter of the law with renewed vigor. Roman law and religio are seen as crucial ways to unify and harmonize the Roman Empire. And anyone who falls foul of those ideals, including Christians, risks increasingly severe punishment.
And Perpetua is one of these unfortunate victims.
Perpetua is remarkable in many ways, not least because she writes a diary.
Perpetua's diary does not tell us why she is arrested. Christianity is not illegal, so it can't be her faith. Perhaps it is because she refuses to sacrifice to the pagan gods. We just don't know. If it is a question of sacrifice, the governor has no choice. All citizens must perform their religio. He begs her to reconsider. Her father begs her to come home. In what must have been a powerful scene, he also brings her baby into the court in the hope that leaving him motherless will help persuade her. But Perpetua is adamant. Nothing can change her mind. She will die. Even in her final moments, Rome cannot bring itself to execute this Christian. The gladiator, charged with performing the death stroke, is unable to do it. So Perpetua pulls his sword to her own throat. Perpetua's story, while tragic, highlights a deep irony.
At the same time as Christians appear to be praising and even desiring martyrdom, we notice a distinct reluctance on the part of the Romans to martyr them, because it's an embarrassing and very public display of anti-Romanness, anti-authority that the Romans, frankly, could really do without.
There's a story told by the North African writer Tertullian, writing about a governor in Asia Minor called Arrius Antoninus, who was becoming quite impatient with the numbers of Christians who were offering themselves up to be martyred. And Tertullian records that this governor said to the Christians, if you really want to die, there are plenty of trees to go and hang yourselves from and plenty of cliffs to go and jump off. Just stop bothering me.
This seems extraordinary. Some Christians are actively seeking martyrdom, actually trying to get themselves killed. At its extremes, Christianity is becoming a cult of self-sacrifice, with members proving their strength and faith by emulating their own Messiah, by suffering a horrific death. So while Romans seem reluctant to martyr Christians, martyrdom is for some Christians the aim. But why are people like Perpetua keen to die when she's given numerous chances to change her mind? What power does her religion hold over her? Back to her diary.
In it, she records a powerful exchange with her father. She asks him, do you see this water vessel, or whatever it is? Can it be known by any other name? No, he replies. So too, I cannot call myself by any other name than what I am, a Christian.
Here is the key. For true believers, there is no compromise to be had between being Christian and being Roman. It's like water and oil. It is them and us. Roman culture, which in the past has managed to absorb and integrate so many behaviors, languages, and religions, seems to have met something it can't assimilate. And this is a pressure cooker, just waiting to blow. Because in times of adversity, divisions get magnified, tempers rise. Not good news for the Christians or indeed any minority, because as we head into the 3rd century, the whole Roman Empire is going to have to face down some of the toughest challenges in its history. The first is simply running an empire that spans such an enormous area. But this is made worse when it comes under attack from many sides, forcing the Romans to fight a multi-front war on nearly every point of the compass.
But attacks by external enemies are only part of the problem. In Rome, at the center of the empire, the imperial succession has long been in bitter dispute. For a while, the empire itself fragments into 3 parts. With a weakened command structure and non-unified tactics, Rome cannot respond as effectively to its external enemies.
In the midst of this crisis, in 249 AD, Decius is crowned emperor. He is faced with the monumental task of leading the empire through a financial, political, and military storm.
Decius initiates something of a back-to-basics campaign based around increased conservative values and traditional religious practice, a key tenet of which, of course, is sacrifice.
Remember, the pagan Romans believe the gods intrinsic to the smooth running of the state. So serious is Decius that sacrifice will help restore the empire, he demands proof. He has receipts, called libelli, issued for every sacrifice.
This is a libellus in which a fellow named Amois has to declare that he has sacrificed according to the official procedure and actually tasted from the sacrifice.
Extraordinary, rock-solid evidence that the Roman state is actually auditing a religious behavior. Although, because of course their gods are real and actually affect the running of the world, this makes perfect sense.
That's correct, right. And it gives their name and says the standard formulae, which must have been in the edict, what they had to declare that they had done.
Not only a way of counting sacrifices for the state, but a way of proving everyone has actually got stuck in and played their part. But I've already learned what Christians might think about having to sacrifice to pagan gods.
For that reason, many of them didn't actually do it.
Right.
They left town, they paid bribes, they got somebody else to go and sacrifice for them, or some of them did sacrifice. They, under threat of torture, they gave in and they sacrificed. This is, I think, what many people would do.
In spite of all the mistrust I've discovered, I'm getting the sense you are still allowed to be Christian, as long as you are a Roman Christian, doing your bit to put the empire back in balance.
Decius never required them to quit reading their scriptures or to quit meeting together or to quit believing what they believe. It was that he wanted them to sacrifice also. He wanted them to participate, in the social order of the Roman Empire.
Although martyrdom, human sacrifice, becomes an essential part of the Christian story, in reality, it wasn't all that widespread.
Instead, what we have are small numbers killed by Romans and a few who are in fact keen to sacrifice themselves. But together,
they create a brand, the martyr. And just as today's big commercial brands are reassuring and comforting, so the cult of the martyr gave this new and fragile religion an anchor around which to build a sense of community, a unifying identity. And this identity forms a key part of a manifesto, which is going to be crucial in forming the church, with a capital C, into a political power in the decades to come. And Jesus' followers will no longer merely be Christians. Now they will be part of a political and religious force, Christianity.